I want to talk to you today about Derek Heggie. He's a title-winning bare-knuckle boxer turned actor and podcaster, and he finds himself behind bars. He's been there since August of this year for saying something that many of us, including, by the way, a former Home Secretary, have already pointed out, that there are a disproportionate number of grooming gang members that are also Muslim men. His so-called racially aggravated comments about young white girls being raped by grooming gangs that worship the Prophet Muhammad have landed him in custody since August, all under the dubious charge of sending grossly offensive communications. And meanwhile, actual hardened criminals roam our streets, gleefully swiping bikes, robbing shops, creating child porn, and dare I say, even worse than those crimes. Yet the powers that be have decided that Heggie's words were the real menace to society, that someone like Heggie ought to be made an example of. And I'm sorry, but I'm struggling to see how locking this bloke up makes anyone safer. Where's the evidence that his words caused harm? Where's the evidence that his words led to riot or mass unrest because of what he said? Where's the evidence that it led to the persecution of individuals? There isn't any. And let's not forget, Sajid Javid, when he was Home Secretary, called for research into that very issue. He openly acknowledged that grooming gangs disproportionately involved men of Pakistani origin and called for an honest, open debate about the racial motivation behind these crimes. So the kicker here is that when ordinary folk like Heggie echo that, suddenly it's a criminal offence. Political correctness lands you in the slammer. And what about the 2020 Home Office report that bent over backwards to claim that most grooming gangs were made up of white men, despite, of course, evidence from Rotherham, from Rochdale, from Telford, and every other well-documented scandal that says completely the opposite? Even Suella Braverman, another Home Secretary, got flack for stating the unfashionable facts, as she put it, about these gangs. Apparently, speaking uncomfortable truths is worse than the actual exploitation of these young girls. We've got to shush it up. We've got to cover it up. The whole thing totally stinks to me. While the system fiddles about these hurty words and legislation to curtail said words, the victims of these crimes are left to pick up the pieces. So here we are in modern Britain, a society where words land you in jail, but actions like ruining the lives of vulnerable children often result in a slap on the wrist. It's outrageous to me to think that this man could go to prison for years to come. I think it's upside down. I think these are political prisoners and that this is the state attempting to make a point, to clamp down on our ability to talk about these issues. And it's a stark reminder, frankly, that our justice system seems far more interested in protecting feelings than actually protecting people and putting in place robust laws that tackle actual criminals. Fancy that! A justice system that actually persecutes criminals as opposed to persecuting those who say things that the state doesn't like because it upsets the multiculturalism cartel. I've heard it all. I mean, you look back on this channel since what? When did we launch it? 2020. I would have said things that are deemed far more grossly offensive than what this Heggie chap has said on this YouTube video that's got him in hot water. Am I going to face the slammer too? I tell you, I just don't understand where we're at as a country. You can always dismiss it as a joke, woke country, but actually it's more sinister than that. This is the state seeking to silence people and create a atmosphere of fear where people think twice before opening their mouths. No such luck in this part of the world, I tell you that much for free. Still watching? Well, I've got a quick ask for you. Recent UK, we're fighting the woke brigade and inspiring young Brits, but we need your help to go bigger. We're hosting a fundraiser and would love you to sign up and share the link on the big day. It's easy, it makes a massive impact, and there are prizes for top fundraisers. Click the Google form in the description to join us. Cheers very much. Let's keep going together.